Hello, hello. Another episode of Love, Sass, and Grass. And today we have, I'm so excited, Reverend Kelly of Kelly's Green Lounge. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Laura. Hi. I love the name of your podcast. Can you tell it to me again?
Love, Sass, and Grass.
Yeah. See, love, sass, and grass. It just flows so nicely. It sounds really feminine.
You.
I love it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Grass.
You know what? I was trying to get a title that would encapsulate everything about me.
Okay. Love, sass, and grass. That's fantastic.
I'll try and keep the bad language to a minimum, but I do have a
however
tendency.
You want.
I come from a long line of very sweary women.
That's okay. That's okay. People express themselves differently in any way.
Exactly. And speaking of expressions, I have to do your introduction because I've been a big fan of yours for years and years. And the fact that I've got you to myself for a little bit, I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. Okay. So I'm here with the founder of Kelly's Green Lounge, producer of KGLtv, author of The Smelliest Flower in the Garden, and host of a new upcoming workshop, How to Talk to Your Kids About Cannabis. Oh my God, Reverend Kelly. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of yours because you give really good hugs. We met recently this year.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I'm a fan of yours because you have taken it upon yourself to make a podcast, connect with humanity, share your gifts, share your voice. So congratulations, Laura.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I decided I would try and tackle two really tough subjects. One of them is cannabis consumption, and the other is menopause and libido. So really, three things.
Right. I like it. I like them all.
Yeah. And so tell us about your upcoming workshop. I'm really excited to find out more about that.
How to talk to your kids about cannabis. That's a course that we've been working on for probably close to 4 years. It's something that when I first started working on it, I was working on it myself, and I would just talk to people online and really teach them just the conversation about even just to have that conversation. There was some incredible Indigenous-led and written books that I was using as reference from Alderville First Nation. And they just really inspired me to keep having that conversation. There's different age groups that we have to talk to our kids about cannabis, and it comes in different packages throughout the life of a child. And these books really explain that. And then it's inspired me to just really keep having that and learning about it and talking about it. And I recognized there wasn't any literature really targeted at small children. So I decided to write a book, The Smelliest Flower in the Garden. My husband illustrated the book, and we just kept it very simple and organic and loving, and it would just go alongside the course. So the course, luckily and gratefully, is now partnered with Andrea Maharg of Rev Cannabis. She is such a cannabis pioneer and incredible cannabis educator, known around the world. I'm just really, really lucky to be working with Andrea. And when she came on board, the course really took life and really delved deep into that which the conversation and the different age appropriate conversations between young children and teens. We've taught it in real life, and it was received really well. We've taught it online. And now what we've done is we've recorded it, and it's going to be available for everyone globally to be able to purchase the course and learn how to talk to your kids about cannabis. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so excited for that. Yay. Because as I've been on the periphery of the legal cannabis sector, what I've really noticed is a stunning lack of education that is accessible to people who don't have an organic chemistry degree or who are not medical practitioners. And they want some basic answers to some questions like, what happens if my kid finds my cannabis flower and puts it in their mouth? What's going to happen? Yeah. And the fact that you've got this. So walk us through the video. So will they have to pay a subscription, or do they pay just
It's
for the
just a
video
one-time
upright?
fee. You're just purchasing the course. The course comes to you, and alongside the course, you get a PDF copy of the book. And Mama Earth, which is my Muppet that I have created for my educational platform, she voices the actual book. So it's fun. It's so kids can watch along and relate to it, and it shows the pictures and everything. And so that's the 0 to 6 comes with that. And then there's a teenage course too. And that has a lot of really that's that age where kids are being still taught in school cannabis is bad for you. And there's even classes that are being taught right now today, even right now in Scarborough, Ontario, just down the road from me, where people are going into classrooms and still teaching the children that it's so bad. And it's really like you shouldn't have it. It's the devil's lettuce, when there's kids that need it for medicine. And there could be children in that classroom that are hiding under their desk now thinking, oh my goodness, I'm doing something so bad. Or maybe their parent is using it because they're going through chemo and they need help with it, or whatever it is, their anxiety, whatever it is that you're using that cannabis for, or your child is using that cannabis for. Now you've just told that child that you're bad and you're dirty. And so that just can't be. We can't have that anymore. So we need to actually get this course into classrooms and get it into the hands of the open-minded parents and the open-minded individuals that say, this is a medicine. This is a food. This is what we need. And we need to teach our children that children need cannabis in some form, not the psychoactive form, not an intoxicating form, but in some form right from birth. And that's what we talk about, is that your children actually need it. Your endocannabinoid system, we're all born with it, needs cannabis to be able to function and be regulated properly. When we don't get that, we have endocannabinoid deficiency, and things can happen. Chronic illnesses can happen, and disorders can happen, and deficits can happen. So if we teach our children young that we're looking for this in a vitamin way, in a wellness way, and it's okay to need it in a medicinal way, a therapeutic way, or whatever way you're using it for, it's okay and it's safe and it's a plant, and we're just going to educate about it, and we're just going to make sure that everybody's safe and everybody knows that it's an okay thing to use.
And it's not a moral issue. Like,
that's right.
You wouldn't look at somebody going, oh, you're diabetic and need insulin. Oh, you're so dirty.
Yeah.
We would never say that to anyone with regard to medicine that's keeping them healthy.
And in fact, there's special considerations for diabetic children in school. Their medicine is kept there for it. They're allowed to use it. They can wear it in a pouch on their body. Do you think they'd be allowed to wear their cannabis on a pouch on their body? No, absolutely not. That's locked away, if the school would even permit the child to be able to have that. No.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're still making moral judgments about something that is completely legal.
Yes.
And that kind of leads me into your green lounge, because this is an infamous space set in a small town in Ontario called Orono. And tell us about how that came to be, because I've been following you like a ghost. I've been haunting you like a ghost just to see what's going on, because I don't have a driver's license. That's an entire story. But yes. And I haven't been able to make it out to the Green Lounge, and I want to so badly.
I have something better for you, Laura. We've actually closed the Green Lounge, and now what Kelly's Green Lounge is, it's an on the roam model. So we pop at different events, like we've popped up at Kind Summer Fair and Kind Winter Fair. We've popped up at Can Expo this past year, although that was a terrible experience, and I'll speak about that later on. But what we do is we just drop the lounge into sort of an in real life form where you don't have to travel all the way to Orono, where there's no busing. And well, I think a bus comes by once every 2 weeks, maybe. No, just kidding. It doesn't come by often. But we closed the Green Lounge. It would have been our 4-year anniversary tomorrow. And it's funny because Facebook memories come up. And I actually built Kelly's Green Lounge on Facebook out of a Facebook group that people just really liked. And then it was received so well. And the education that I was doing pop-ups at different events and parking lots and anywhere that would listen to my cannabis education. And I just said, you know what? I just need a space. And for a wonderful, maybe year period, oh my goodness, people were traveling all over the world to come to, well, all over the country and all over North America. I'll restate that. They came from the US, they came from all different parts of our country to be able to come to Kelly's Green Lounge. And then the apocalypse came. And so we were told, you can open the door. No, you can't open the door. You can put things on the curbs. No, you can't do that either. And it was just like, you're a lounge, you're not a lounge, you're a store. And so, of course, we didn't last. We lasted for 2.5 years and we did what we could. But while we were existing, I had to sort of pivot and build like a virtual model, which became KGLtv, which is our media channel. And because of that, we just got to the point where our little small lounge was a little bit too small for us anyway. And the town of Orono was just a little bit too small for what we were doing anyway. And we still have our community that we built there. And now when we do our bar pop-ups events, which are happening in places like Peterborough and Keene. And so people come still from that community up to where we are. And now we can almost bring it on the road to them. And I appreciate that what it took me from was learning about cannabis tourism and how we can have cannabis models and how it's a franchisable model. And the more that we have the conversation, because they're still not technically legal in the sense that you can't have regulated cannabis and sell it unless you have a license. You can't just get a cannabis shop and just to be like, okay, I'm just going to sell some edibles here. You got to go through the whole process to be able to do that. The smoking bylaws are still that you can't smoke inside anywhere in the country. So things just are not the best for cannabis lounge owners anyway, but we're hopeful as we move forward with our mission of cannabis tourism.
Oh, absolutely. That is the one thing that really, really makes me quite frustrated with the legalization of cannabis within Ontario. Is I literally have maybe 4 cannabis stores within a 4-block radius of my apartment in downtown Toronto. And I do not have a single place where I am a legal adult where I can consume this product in public. Right. Rather than shamefully walk into a store and with my eyes kind of like, oh, can I have some of some of that stuff over there, and then just scurry home like I should be ashamed. And there's been no place where I would love to have a pop-up lounge. Come on down to Church Street and let's go hang out in the park and just be able to enjoy the substance in relation to other adult humans.
Yeah. And the experience of cannabis lounges in the community. And there's also something to be said about people that come for travel and maybe they need to consume their cannabis as medicine and they can't do it in their hotel or they can't do it in their Airbnb. Where are they going to go? And they used to have, just before legalization, there was tons of cannabis lounges everywhere. They weren't the most legal on the up and up, but they were there for experience and they were patient-led and patient-owned, and it existed. And so that model is completely gone and taken away. And there's some cannabis lounges and compassion clubs in British Columbia that we're seeing, and we're seeing far and few between, but it would be nice if there was legislation around a model for that for sure.
Oh, definitely. Because I think, for example, because I talk about cannabis in relation to menopause and libido, I find that women will listen to somebody sitting on the sofa next to them going, you know what I did? As opposed to, I did an interview with Apollo Cannabis Clinic and they were wonderful. And they said, look, ask us the question, please ask us because we have solutions for you. But I just feel that women still are ill prepared to ask these questions, that they'd rather get information from someone sitting there going, on the sofa, sit beside me, and this is what I did, rather than go directly to like a practitioner. So having a mobile thing going, hey, do you want to go hang out at this pop-up thing? I think would be a really great way to bring education to the masses. But that's such a shame about Kelly's Green Lounge. And I feel like so sad that you closed and I didn't know. Oh my God. When did it close?
No, it closed June of last year. So it's been closed for a little bit over a year. Yeah, we've just been on the roam doing all kinds of pop-up things. We do Cannabis Temple, which is along the spirituality vein that we do, and everybody meets there. And we have some vendors and education. And we almost always do a give back fundraiser for food drives. And We did one for an Indigenous community school fundraiser in June for Sprott House in Toronto. So we almost always try to do something to give back as best as we can. Sleeping bag drives, we did sleeping bag for doobies. I'm saying all of this in case anybody likes these ideas and wants to do them, because be inspired by that. Do that. Cannabis has so much heart, where most of us that are activists and warriors are patients, medical cannabis patients, or cannabis has affected or saved our lives or someone else that we love. And so for that reason, we want to get that message out there and we want to give back, and we're heart warriors. So I think that's something everybody could be doing, especially around this time of year. If you've got a way to do an event, why not throw a bucket there for some sleeping bags or some food?
Oh, that's an amazing idea, because I really feel that the cannabis space has expanded so quickly, but with so little care to the people who are actually consuming it and their needs, that, it could be a real space for goodness. And I love like the sleeping bag drive, just because there's just so much obvious healthcare needs, especially mental health care needs, at least in my neighborhood.
Mental health care.
I have like a tent city in one of the parks near my place. And when you see the people living in these tents, you realize that this is a mental health care issue more than anything else. And something like the cannabis community, I know, is very active, because so many people with mental health issues, such as depression, have been remarkably helped by this plant. Obviously, there are caveats to this. Cannabis isn't for anyone, but it certainly has helped a lot of people that I know personally. Anyway, but I'm so glad. Tell us more about KGLtv. Where can that be found? That can be found on Facebook for sure. I know, I've seen it, but where else can people watch it?
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. And when we do our live shows and when we have our produced shows that we put out, it goes out on a feed that's sort of, KGLtv is on all social media. It's on LinkedIn and Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and all those. But it also feeds to CBG TV, which feeds out to all of the internet channels like Roku and Apple and all of those Firefoxes. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's just a feed that feeds out everywhere. And when we do our shows, we have live content, new shows live and recorded every week, new content every week with incredible hosts. One of them in California, Tony, she does Wellness with Tony. That's out every Friday. She's just brilliant, this brilliant host. She's a nurse, a cannabis nurse, and she just really teaches us about lifestyle and wellness and wholeness. And then my flagship show is the Late Night Sesh. We're in our 4th season. It's every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. And there's this motley crew of comedians. They're in 2 different provinces, Ontario and Quebec. And it is just a joy to produce this show. And we've done, I don't know, probably close to 150, 160 episodes. It's live every week. And it's just, we've had really famous people on this show. Ross Ribliati, I'm probably saying that wrong. I think they'll say that was one of the biggest ones they've had. They've had bands from the US. They have Carla Collins on. We've had politicians. We've had pet people showing snakes, and it's just an incredible thing. And then to piggyback off of that, we have This Old Tent, which is hosted by Professor X and Mayhem, and they're like these grow Jedi fellas that come on to do the pre-show before the late night session. They teach us different things every week. It is such a privilege to work with the hosts that I work with. They blow my mind all of the time, and they do this volunteer. They're just doing it for art, creativity, and for the message of the plant. So it's an honor to have been working them. We've had different shows over the last few years. I host shows. I interview people. I've probably interviewed hundreds of people by now, luckily, on KGLtv and KGLtv or KGL Radio, which is an audio podcast that I did previously. And it's just been such an honor to just listen to their stories, share their stories, learn from them, and build with them. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds, I need some help. And that's at Wednesdays at 10. Oh, my God.
At 10. Yeah. We'd love to have you as a guest, Laura. Come on. They'd love to
okay.
They love to talk to everybody. Yeah, I'll book you as a guest for sure. They'd
see
love to
this black tent behind me. That is my grow tent. And I have tried 3 times. And I got to say, I guess that classifies me as a mass murderer, because I have killed The last one, I was so emotionally traumatized by the third plant death that I couldn't even open the tent because I was like, I felt like it was a coffin and that I was looking at a dead body because I just couldn't believe I tried so hard to make that thing live.
I feel you. I have killed plants before many a times. I feel you. I don't know. We just don't have green thumbs. But I'm going to introduce you to this old tent, fellas. It's 9:30 on Wednesdays. There's 10 episodes, but I'm going to introduce you to them, Laura. And I'm going to
because like I can grow other plants. Look, I'm a good plant mom. I'm a good plant mom. I can have other plants. It's just this plant. I don't know. Did I give it too much love? I even was playing plant music. I got a little portable speaker and I was like, okay, plant growing frequency. I'll lullaby you for your grow time while I'm sleeping. Wow. And it still started getting brown tips at the end of the leaves. And then it was dead within 4 days.
Oh no. Okay. There's something happening.
I know.
Sage. Maybe we'll sage. Maybe there's like some kind of juju happening around there or.
Oh, listen, I'll do anything. I'll start burning sage and put salt in the corners and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I was
Did you
so
name them?
sad.
Did you name your plants? You have to name them.
I didn't. Thank God I didn't do the last one because I was so emotionally traumatized that if I had a name, I probably would have had to have tattooed it somewhere on my body just because I was so sad when it died. And then I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And my sister was like, listen, it's a plant. You can grow another
plant. But you become emotionally attached to it.
I
get it. It's a different kind of plant.
Exactly. This is not like African violets. Okay.
No,
this is, I think that it's so sensitive when it's inside and not on the earth.
Yes.
I think that it's definitely a plant that needs to be connected to the earth.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you restrict it into a pot, it becomes a very complicated thing.
I agree with you. I have put my hands around the base of plants that have been outside, and I haven't been able to put my hands together for their stalks. They are in the ground. They're giant and tall and everything. Yeah, they much prefer the sun and the earth. You're absolutely right.
If you can connect me, I'll be like the biggest fan. I will follow those guys.
Absolutely, Laura. Absolutely.
I definitely want to have a winter crop, if you know what I mean, because I do find that, okay, so we have a legal product, but the quality is never great.
Yeah. Yes.
Never.
I feel like, so I spend a lot of time on sovereign land with indigenous cannabis, and I just really love, you can see a healing house, medicinals, true dose edibles behind me. They're partners of mine. They're friends of mine. I've watched them grow from just a little shipping container, and they inspect all their cannabis and they test it, and they're making sure that this is the medicine that we're getting. I would suggest maybe checking someplace out like that if you're not finding it with legal cannabis. Organic and craft is where I find when I'm going. I love pre-rolls. I love walking into stores and trying new different types of pre-rolls. They're amazing. But if I got a guy, like kind of thing, like I'll choose to go to my guy or to sovereign land before I'll choose to get like bulk flower or large quantities. I'm a sucker for pre-rolls, but when it comes to bulk flower, I got a guy and sovereign cannabis myself.
Oh, so talk to me about what exactly is sovereign cannabis?
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Alderville First Nation. It's about 45 minutes from where I am now. So it's just in the Peterborough County area, sort of that Northumberland area. And there's a place called the Green Mile. And when you get there, you can see indigenous dispensaries, retailers, on every corner. You drive a little bit, there's a sign up here, they're advertising here. It's so different because regulated retailers they have to cover up their windows, they can't advertise the way that they want to advertise. But here, there's wobbly men. They're there and they're like, come on in. We've got weed. They've got $50 ounces. They've got all kinds of hundreds to thousands of milligrams in their edibles. Now, there are some shops that are not as regulated regulated by themselves when they test everything. There's some shops that are a little bit more questionable than others. So you have to be careful where you're going. But What it is it's not regulated by the Ontario Cannabis Store. It's not regulated by the AGCL. It's Indigenous cannabis, sovereign cannabis. So they have their own right to industry. Usually on these reserves, the only enterprise that we see are smoke shops or gas stations. But some of them have found ways for enterprise to sell cannabis. They're doing it the right way, as far as I'm concerned. Some of the shops are. You can go in and you can smell your product. You can see it under a microscope. You can have conversations with the people that maybe more training than you would see at a retailer that you're just getting your can sell from. You're actually talking to their bud tenders about what medical conditions can be used for with different cannabis. They're breaking down the terpenes, they're breaking down the cannabinoids. It's like a different world. It's really incredible. And again, Healing House Medicinals, they're really wonderful. They've been doing it for a really long time. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga, which is another reserve, and then Oneida Cannabis, which is out by the London area. So that might be the closest one to you, Laura, that I can think of. Of course, there are some sovereign stores that are in Toronto. Sovereign Smoke on Eglinton West is one that I can think of. And they are also off the grid, kind of rogue in the sense that they're not regulated by the AGCO. They're actually regulated by their own sovereign ways, is what we'll say. So it's giving back to the people that are from the land. And why wouldn't we want to do that? Why do we want to continue to give our money and our tax money to the Canadian government? I'm just saying. They're rich enough.
Yes.
They've taken enough from these excise taxes. My goodness.
Plus, there are still communities that don't have water.
And that's another thing. Why are we still talking about that? Why is that still a conversation when there's so much money that's coming in just from cannabis alone? We don't even need to talk about other industries. Why is the government being so greedy? There are reserves just within 2 hours from where I'm sitting right now that do not have running water, Laura, and they have to boil. It's awful.
Yeah, and it's been like that for 30 years or something
and they're
ridiculous.
Not doing anything.
So I have absolutely no qualms going to an Indigenous, what do you call them, sovereign stores?
Yep.
I have no problem with that at all. I think that I just saw one not far from my house called the Medicine Wheel.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. It would be the Medicine Wheel. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm glad, because I'm like, hey, I wonder if that is like,
you're going to love it. You're never going to go back. I'm telling you, the variety, the quality. Yeah.
I went to Mohawk Cannabis, which coincidentally is right across from something called, I think it's called Klein's Creamery, where it's like they make their own ice cream. Have you ever been to Belleville?
Yes, I went to school in Belleville for radio
broadcasting. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so if you went to Belleville, what is it? Is it Reed's Dairy or something?
Yes, yeah. That's very good. They've been there forever.
Oh my God. So we went there to get ice cream. And then, and then went over to Mohawk Cannabis. And I love the fact that this is the way a cannabis experience should be. You should be able to, because the nose always knows.
Absolutely.
If you like the smell of something, it's going to be good for you. If you don't like the smell of something, no matter what you do, it's not going to help you.
Right. Absolutely. And you can tell if it makes you feel funny when you're smelling it, if it's up in the upper part of your nose, that's usually more of that uplifting, and if you feel like you're crunching your eyes or you're feeling like you want to sneeze, the cannabis might not mix well with you. You can't test that in legal stores. You can test that at Mohawk, and that reserve is the Tyendinaga Reserve. And they have, oh my goodness, I don't know how many shops they have, dozens and dozens out there. It's wonderful.
Thank God that dairy, we went to the dairy going in and we came to the dairy going out.
It's so delicious.
It's so delicious. And to be honest, it's just like, oh, I don't know if I can, like, you eat ice cream until you feel sick, but then you've got some really amazing stuff to take home as well in the form of Mohawk Cannabis. It was so nice just to see quality instead of the brown popcorn kernels that you would get from delivered to your house. Who toasted this?
I know. And then you don't even need a grinder. It's just
exactly. It's just dust. It's very nice dust. Thank you. Oh my
Thanks for the dust.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my God. So if people wanted to get in touch with you for your workshop, whether it's an in-person or the videos, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So the course is online right now at revealcannabis.com. And I think it's /kids or it's /kids and teens, but you can find it under revealcannabis.com, or we have links. The links are in our LinkedIn or the KGL Network platforms or Kelly's Green Lounge platform, or you can find Andrea Maharg at Reveal Cannabis as well.
Okay. And once again, you're the author of The Smelliest Flower in the Garden.
Yeah. Yeah, that's available at Amazon.com. And it makes an excellent Christmas gift, Hanukkah gift, all of the seasonal holidays that are coming up. It makes a good gift.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And you know what? When you say talk to your kids, also grandkids, because maybe
Sure.
grandma has the medicine as well,
Yeah.
and grandpa, the grandparents. Senior use of cannabis, to me, from what I'm reading, is like one of the highest growing market sectors is through elderly patients. So it's not necessarily parents, but grandparents that
No,
could use
and we
this
love to
book.
hear that. We don't want our seniors taking pills anymore. We want our seniors rolling back on the polypharmacy and actually taking the care of themselves with the plant medicine. We're given one pill to cover up another pill to cover up another pill to cover up another pill, and that's just a band-aid. We actually need to get to the root of the problem, and we can do that with our cannabis medicine. So it's wonderful that the elderly and the later in life humans are starting to wake up to this and stopping wanting to take those pills.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely hand in hand with the whole idea that consuming this is a moral issue.
Right.
And we have to like step away and go, this is not moral, this is medicine. And I think that is like my big push as well. Oh my God.
Bravo to you, my friend. Thank you for that. Collectively, we can change everything. Collectively, with our voices, as we keep going forward and we keep putting the message forward, the mission, that's what we need. I call it Can Avengers. I'm a big Marvel superhero fan. So what I say is that we're all Can Avengers, and we're all coming together to take down Thanos, which is a bad guy in the movies. But what really Thanos is it's the globalization, anti-globalization of cannabis. It's how it's illegal in so many countries where people were using it for 8,000 years in some places in the world, and they're not allowed to anymore. Like, it's just so ridiculous. So the more that we speak about it and the more that we all come together and fight for this mission, the more that people have a better chance to be able to use their cannabis worldwide.
That is what a great message. What a great message. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I got you to myself for a little bit, which to me has made my whole week, because I've just been such a big fan for so long. And I've definitely followed you. And I'm looking forward to your like pop-up lounge coming to Toronto. Please tell me you're coming to Toronto sometime soon.
Actually, November 25th, we have a nug swap coming to, if you follow the social media, I'll send you a little bit more information, but we're going to join together as a community November 25th in Toronto. So I hope you can come.
Oh, I'm there. Hopefully it's not too far out in the boonies or anything. Do you know where it's going to be?
It's at this wonderful, beautiful place, the Danforth. And it just so happens, Laura, that your new best friends, Grofessor X and Mayhem, this old tent, they're hosting this party. So it's all this synergy. I'm now insisting you have to come, and I'm going to introduce you to them. And it's going to be a wonderful thing. So we're going to make those plans when we get off air.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm there. Oh my God. I'm going to have to do like a video thing as well, because I'm just so excited now. No, so that's November 25th.
November 25th.
Amazing. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Reverend Kelly, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Laura,
thanks
and
for all
good
that
luck
you're
with
doing.
the lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.